Welcome back to Benji's Corner Podcast, Season 2, Episode 2, Part 3. Today it is with great honor to share this time and space with the one and only me freely. I hope his story inspires you to chase your dreams and to keep running free. With God, all things are possible. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe as we continue to bring you great content and stories. Thank you in advance for all your support.
Hey yo, it's your boy Benji. I'ma need y'all to support my brother Me Freely. You feel me? He running across America. I'ma need y'all to go ahead and scan that QR code. We got the GoFundMe right there. You can scan the one right next to it. That's to his Facebook. You know what I'm saying? We just supporting good vibes, good people, and doing good things, Just thank you for watching and tuning in today. You don't know how much you are truly appreciated. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all been on this journey with me, and as we get into his testimony, what he's doing, just sit back, grab you some popcorn. You know what I'm saying? And let's get it. Hey yo, it's your boy Benji.
Finally, my only advice to my brothers and sisters coming up: when your father asks you to do something, do it proudly, with a willingness like no other, because he notices those things, the little things. So don't complain, don't stomp your feet. Do it as though it's him you're doing it for, because it is. Acknowledge your father in your actions by the way of your willingness. This is not the end, only the beginning. I'm excited and willing for what he has for me after GCL Live. Now it's time. Thank you, Jesus, and thank you all.
Hallelujah! Today's podcast is brought to you by our sponsor, Saved by Grace Living. Embracing love, building dreams.
Because I'm just me. I'm a human, and to rely on God and to not have all that stuff in that issue. Because if you keep doing that, number one, your health is going to go down, and number two, you're just living a life that's not worth living when you're worrying all the time and living. Yeah. And so,
I think it's like a day or something like that every time you worry or something.
yeah. So I think that's one of the biggest thing is that, yes, I love people. I love being around people and inspiring people, that people help me grow and encouraging me, and I encourage them. People of God, people that walking every day.
Yeah.
But at the same time, love them when they're going through all those stuff, because they will go through it. I will go through it. And I pray and I tell them to be with me, help me along the way too, so expect those things. Don't just be like, okay, they're having a bad day, I'm going to have a bad day too. Because if you do that, then you guys are not going anywhere. You end up just digging yourself deeper. And so that's what I've learned through my walk with TC. Up here is that people are going to disappoint. No matter what, God's still going to be there,
Exactly. Every time.
Yeah.
I know that if I can't depend on people, I'm like, God, he right there.
Yeah.
Every time.
And bro, I think that's what we need, and that's what's missing in our life, is that constant, and nobody on earth here could provide that. And that's why we're always searching for the next best thing to fill it up with.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of us, we fill it up with stuff that we're not supposed to. And it works one time and you're like, okay, it works, let's do it again.
Yeah.
And then it works again, but then you got to keep fulfilling that up and doing it, and it keeps working. After a while, you're just like, I'll just do it every day,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it becomes an issue, and then here we are, and so I think that what we've learned from that and what we could tell people is that, yeah, take those in stride, but it's going to be okay at the end of the day, because God, he's there for you, and so when you have all that, you don't want to go back to all that other stuff, you're like, oh, okay, I don't want to do that anymore, because I was miserable doing that. It was just, and when you realize that, you want to stay on this side.
Yeah.
That's why the drinking and going to the bar and stuff like that, it's kind of like tarnishing for me, because I've got something better.
Yeah.
I got something better. Why would I go to that?
Yeah.
So there's a old girl analogy, but I don't know if I should use it. Should I?
Yeah.
Like
hey, go ahead.
So like, you find a girl, right? And then you're like, this girl is treating you a certain way. And they're like, and then you're like, man, but she's always there. She's beautiful, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, then you come over here, you find a girl that's different. You're like, and you can't believe that and you don't want to go back to that anymore.
Right. You want to be treated
Yeah,
better.
but you know what, bro? What the thing is that you realize that, you know what, like just a month or 2 months ago, I used to share everything with that person. And
Yeah.
that's kind of like our addiction. I used to drink and rely on that so much through my dark times. And
Yeah.
now I walk by that person or that bottle and I don't even, I can't believe that used to be
Right.
the used to be everything in my life.
Exactly.
You know, that's how I feel like, you know, if we could use
Yeah.
that analogy, you know, I'm like, wow, I share so much. Every like little secret I share with that bottle. But
Mhm.
now I just look at it and like, I found something better. I can't believe I used to share so
Yeah,
much with
it's like
that.
looking back at it like an ex, like where it's like I can't believe I used to,
Yeah.
be there like that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's
But at the same time, you're in the back of your mind, you're thinking like, we share so much. We, you know, at that point, at that time, you felt like that was your world. That was everything. But now you're like, wow, I can't believe that it used to be that way. You know,
yeah,
don't you feel it like that
yeah. Oh
sometimes?
yeah, I agree 1,000%. Yeah,
Yeah. And so you're like, wow, I had this powerful thing. I didn't think I was gonna I could live without it, but yet
yeah,
I found something better and I don't want to go back to that. When you make that realization, then that's when you realize that, you know what, as much as that over here is shiny,
hmm
it's just shiny to the people that haven't seen this, you know? It's only
yeah,
shiny to these people, but it's not shiny to me. And
yeah.
so that's why they're like asking, like, don't you have cravings? I'm like, I'm aware of it, but it's not shiny anymore. You know, God
Right.
is shinier. Yeah.
Exactly.
So the that's the best way I could put it, is that that's why I walk into a bar and now it doesn't do much for me. I was
Yeah.
scared that before, like when I started my walk in TC, I was scared that if I go back, what if it comes back? But it never did, because I found something better. I've seen something shiny over here that God has. And you know what, bro? This over here, I don't have
Yeah.
to keep replenishing it, bro.
Yeah.
I don't have
For
to
real.
like, yeah, I don't have to pay the price of like getting up all hung over,
Yeah, for
headaches and
real.
stuff like
Oh
that.
man.
Yeah, this is constant and I'm fulfilled every day. And you
And
know
it's
what?
pure.
Yeah, but
Like,
this over here, yeah, one night it might be good, right?
you're right.
You know, and I'm not gonna lie, through my addiction, I did have, it was good. I had fun, but it wasn't like fulfilling. It
Right.
was just like, oh, I had one, it was good, but tomorrow I have to do it again. And you gotta keep
Yeah.
doing that over and over again. And then eventually you're like,
Yeah.
I
Starts to eat away.
yeah, bro, you're like,
Like,
I can't do this no more, bro.
right, for real. Like, I
I
used to
can't.
get the shakes,
Yeah,
bro, and I'd be sitting there, I can't move.
yeah,
It's crazy because like,
yeah.
and it's crazy like how we're, I'll see a, like an ad where it's drink responsibly. In my head, every time I'm like, there is no responsible way to drink. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you drink that, you gonna die.
yeah, bro. Um, I think, yeah, that's funny. Yeah, those ads are misleading, bro.
Right, it's like where it's like a culture thing, like because
Yeah,
it's like because like I love America, you know what I'm saying? It's
yeah,
like where it's like free, it's freedoms and
yeah,
stuff like that. Some people they can drink responsibly,
yeah,
like where they can have their wine and they know how to do it. But like for me, like me and my family, I didn't know that alcoholism was hereditary.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It's like where like so like my family like they would mention it, but nobody ever listens. It
yeah,
wasn't until like it started going like till I got a therapist and you know what I mean,
yeah,
talking about these different things. They're like, wait, hold on, you were an alcoholic, your mom was an alcoholic, your dad was an alcoholic. Just hold on, I'm starting to see a trend here. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And it's like where this the proof is there where it's able to like how where you're more likely to get addicted to
yeah,
something if you've done it. Like
yeah,
how we're God willing one day like when I have kids, like I'll be able to tell them like, hey, look, they might rap about it in this song, you might see it here, but to actually sit down and talk with them and bring awareness to it, like, hey, you know go show them what a crackhead looks like, not
yeah,
in a judging way, but like hey, look, you see that there, that's what happens when you do that. Because what I'm saying, like for me, I never thought it could happen to me.
yeah,
I just was like, yeah, okay. But then what I'm saying, then I'm calling out to God, and what I'm saying, and it's like how we're sometimes like where you've heard people that like whenever troubles come, they go to God, you know, but like when they're not in trouble, they don't go to God.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Keeping that walk in your life when, you
Yeah.
know, when things are all good, are you still going to worship him? Are you
Yeah.
still going to speak his name? Is you still going to be with him, you know? And like, I feel like it gets to just showing through you in your actions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like, cause I remember calling out to God, like, God, this is it, you know what I'm saying? Hitting that rock bottom, putting that shovel down, not digging no deeper, you know? And for him, like, cause it happened, like I called out to him, and then like a week later I'm in treatment. And I'm
Yeah.
thinking like,
Wow.
I'm like, you know, what was I thinking? Like in my head where I'm like, is this what's supposed to be happening? Am I
Yeah.
supposed to be here? Like, you know, and not knowing, like even 6 months in, I always say like where it's like, I didn't know why I was here. I truly did.
Yeah.
I was just like, you know, I did my 30 days. I was like, okay, I'm sober now. I'm 3 months in. I'm like, okay, I'm 3 months sober now. You know what I'm saying? Oh, now I'm 6 months sober. So I'm like, wow, okay, I'm
Yeah.
sober now. What's this? You know? But
Yeah.
then just, you know, God was like, keep going, keep going, keep
Yeah.
going. I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna show you something. And then like you know, just being able to continue to experience him and building that community and you know, like how we're and the fact that I'm able to come back now, like so in August, was it August? I think it was August 2023. I started my first YouTube channel, right?
Yeah.
I called it Five Stone Media, right?
Yeah.
Because like for me, it was David's 5 stones
Yep.
that he had with
Yep.
Goliath. I'm like, this man went up there with 5 stones. So I was like, this is my 5 stone media, 888, because like where for me it was a chance for me to experience and live out my dreams and kind of, you know, uh like kind of like build a community, you know what I'm
Right.
saying, online, but like also just express who I am where, you know, like for me, right, I was that little kid that was like, hey, you know, I can do this or I can do that, and eventually that will become annoying, you know,
Yeah.
if you know what I'm saying, if you're around that person, unless some people they like it. So it was like, you know, like in addiction, people are like, oh man, I like that little gift you got there. Do that dance for me, dance for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was just an entertainer, you know.
Yeah.
But it was like true meaning behind it. And I knew that God had his guy, he wanted me to do something and he didn't want me to keep living the way I live. So like when I was here, I got the little free phone, you know, like
Yeah.
when we finally are able to come back
Yeah.
to the world and,
Yeah.
you know, get on social media and stuff, and I would sit right over there and I would actually do like my first videos, like for example, I call this Stitch Day, 6/26, so June 26th of any year, right?
Yep.
626, like Lilo and Stitch.
Yep.
Because like while everyone thought that Stitch was this monster, that he was a destroyer, that's what he was created for. That's what the Dr. Jumba, you know what I'm saying, from the series, he
Yeah.
created him for destruction, because that's what was going on in mad scientist's head. And I kind of feel like the the world that was curated around me was chaos. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Hey, drink. Hey, go party. Hey, go sell
Yeah.
drugs. Hey, go do this, do that. Because that's what was accepted, the norm, right? So
Right.
that was my Dr. Juma, the world, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, you know what I'm saying? And so like but as you saw with Lilo, right? Where, you know what I'm saying? Ohana means family. Family means nobody gets left behind or forgotten. And
Right.
once he was shown that real love, then Stitch, he wasn't me no more. He wasn't a
Oh.
destroyer. He was actually surfing, even though water was gonna kill him. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
that's like his
Yeah.
kryptonite. He was still you know what I'm saying? And she guided him to showing him what love is. And
Yeah.
I feel like we get that through not only just here, but just throughout like life and people and
Okay.
stuff like that.
Wow.
So
That's beautiful how you explained it. So you didn't see the world as, well, it's, all that stuff that was in bothering you. You didn't see that anymore, huh?
no,
All
it's
that chaos and all that what it's supposed to be,
it's
what people deem it's supposed to be.
yeah, like I'm still like, it's even like to this day, I'm still getting used to peace.
Yeah.
I really am. Like where it's times where I I'll have to sit back and I'll like do this thing like where when my mind starts racing and stuff like that,
Yeah.
it and like I sat back and I was just analyzing my word. I'm like, this is what peace is, Ricky.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like where like this is what calmness is. This is what soothing is. This is what relaxation is. It's
Yeah.
not gonna be loud. You know what I'm saying? I used to like go to like EMD concert, head banging
Yeah.
and stuff like that. It's not gonna be loud. It's not gonna be reckless. It's not gonna be the thrill of adrenaline rush that you may lose your life. It's
Right.
now a calmness and a peace, and then I get a thrill that I have life. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So it's like kind of like the still getting used to it, you
Yeah,
know.
see, I didn't see you before, but now I see you. It's just this person full of life and, this zest for life and positivity. So, what people don't understand is that a lot of us, we meet each other here and we don't realize that we were different before, and when you start hearing stories about, you're like, no way, that can't be you,
Yeah.
because we just see like the product right now, we don't
Mm.
see what's behind it. And for me to see you as, if this is what you say, calm, I'm like, wow, like it's
Yeah.
it's a great, portrait of you now. And because I don't can connect that with the addiction side, and so
Yeah.
it's hard to
Thank
do
you.
that. And because when I tell my story, people are like, wow, I didn't realize that I don't believe that you used to be like that, and I'm like, yeah. They're like, nah, you can't be like that. I'm like, yeah, bro. And a lot of these guys, they they're like that too, a
Yeah.
lot of the guys that are um have graduated, you see them, you're like, nah, that can't be that person, but they are. They just
Mhm.
been, here.
Transformed by
Yeah,
God. Like when you get God in your life, you know what I'm saying? Like when he does that new thing, you know what I'm saying? Like when he
yeah,
says, I put that new mind in you, it's like I've experienced that. I'm living that. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's beautiful.
yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Like, when you first started that 5 stones, what was in your mind to start that? Like,
Oh, in my mind,
what prompted you to start that? Like,
I do poetry and spoken word as well.
yeah.
And like so I've like always
So
been
today we're like seeing all the talents that Benji have.
yeah,
Well,
man.
I'm trying to expose it. Anyways,
Hey, there we go, man of
all
many hats, you know.
all the talent that we're trying to slowly take
Yeah.
apart the talents
Yeah,
of
you know what I'm
Benji.
saying? It's like the onion that's
Yeah,
like I like to say like the lotus flower. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? How it blooms, how it was in the
yeah,
mud. When it comes up,
yeah.
it's
I
just
prefer the onion,
phenomenal.
but yeah, I prefer peeling the onion layer. Sometimes it makes you teary, but
I
at the
was
end, you're gonna get to that core, and when you get to that core, it's kind of sweet.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That
So it's
part.
kind of like that. But we're
It,
getting to the onion of the talents, the many hats that
eh,
Benji wear.
yeah,
And so, um,
you gonna make me cry, man. Cause like
no,
we're so in my so basically and if you go for those of you who are watching, make sure that you go down to my playlist. It's called Benji's Beginnings, and I'm sitting there with this like, bro, it's like a binder about that thick, bro.
yeah,
Like I got like probably like 2-3 books for whatchamacallit of just it could be poetry writing, bro.
yeah,
Like full length pages, like bro. I don't like to brag, but I like, you know what I'm saying? I'm giving all grace, all gratitude and all glory to God because He puts these thoughts in me. He
yeah,
puts the expression, the creativity to where, bro, I can just flow for like
yeah,
hours, right?
yeah,
And bro, I'll be in there and I'll be writing. I'll be writing some heat, bro.
yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like where I'll
Could
really
could you could you do a little
a little
spin for us?
a little spin.
Yeah,
Okay, all
I
right,
mean,
all
come on, just
right,
something
okay.
little.
Let me see. It's funny because like my phone's recording, so like I don't have
Yeah, so
my
just
whatchamacallit. Let me see.
20
Wait,
seconds of
20 seconds
yeah, that's real quick.
of poetry.
Not to put Benji on the
Uh,
spot here, but
okay, let me
I
see
think
real
that
quick.
onion's being peeled right now. So
Um, say it's being peeled. My tears no more. My tears no morrow sorrow. You feel me? I was always thinking about tomorrow. It's a new day, but this day that I'm giving, man, the time it's just borrowed. I go back home to the Creator, not thinking about what I'm laid in, because He gives me a new bed. Hey, look, Mama, I made
wow.
it.
Okay.
That
Now,
was the
no, that was good. That was good for something. Wow.
It's kind of
So
like cause like it kind of goes like with the music, like
yeah,
cause it's like a flow, but it's like a poetry to it. So
yeah.
it's like give me 1 second. I think I might have something.
Okay,
Hold on, real quick,
okay. He's got to
cause
check his
I
phone now.
I did not the phone.
Okay, the camera.
The yeah, this one hold on, give me 2 seconds. Okay, so that one's still going. We
Oh,
still
you're
good
checking.
there,
Okay.
but let me see if I got something right here real quick.
Oh, come on. Hey, I want to say I like the hat,
Hey,
Benji.
thank you, man, thank you. I appreciate you. Let me see.
So I see the sweater that you're wearing. Can
Oh
you tell
yeah,
us a little after you're done? Can you tell
yeah,
us something a little about the sweater that you're wearing too?
yeah. So this is from my website,
Yeah.
Saved by Grace Living. So this is Well, first, let me shout out the website real quick. So it's savedbygraceapparel.com. SAVEBYGRACEAPPAREL.com. And you can get sweaters. We also have like stickers. You can
Okay.
there's leggings for ladies. There's canvases, coffee mugs. You can get joggers. You can get shorts, and
Nice.
you can even get a polo, kind of like a,
Yeah.
you know, oh yeah, just like a
Yeah.
polo. And there's also like a you ever seen like the Dickie suits,
Yep.
like the just the top
Yep.
stuff?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I got something like that on there too.
Oh, okay. Nice.
And and so this is Saved by Grace Living. It's
Wow.
a nonprofit that I started. So when I was here for my 5 months at TCLI, right, I then so I had I got kicked out, right, and then so I'm looking for housing, right. Mind you,
Right.
haven't been working, don't have any no funds saved, nothing like that, right. And I'm calling sober living because I had heard of these, you know what I'm saying, like what is it? Well,
So
yeah, sober living
sober
houses.
houses.
Yeah, sober houses, yeah.
Yeah.
And like so, and I did, you know what I'm saying, like I couldn't go back home. Nobody I can't live, nobody wants a grown man living with them,
Right. Right.
and so I'm calling all these different numbers. They're talking 800, bro, 750, bro.
Yeah.
Like one place like, well, I could take 650 now, but we're gonna have to. I'm like, what do you mean? But I find this sober home, right? I go there. Luckily I had made some good investments, and it was and so I was able to get enough, and I was donating at the time, donating plasma at the time.
Yeah.
I don't anymore, but hey, you got to get your dollars sometimes.
Yeah.
And so I take the last little bit of my money, and I find myself over north, and I'm sober living. I'm now living with, I got a roommate. It's like 2, 4, 6, like 7 of us in a house and
Okay.
stuff like that. And I'm going through it. I'm now, you know what I'm saying, like it's like where I can't say my family like we're, I'm a first generation wealth builder, but like I can't say like my family like we're like wealthy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Didn't come from like that money tree
Yeah.
that they talk
Right.
about.
Yeah.
I just planted mine. But and
Yeah.
so it's like where what was it? So I'm seeing how it is to really be a North Sider, to see
Yeah.
how it really is to live where they live, to,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, to the culture, the environment,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And because like in Minnesota, you always hear about how the North Side is this, the North Side is that.
Right.
And to actually be in it, bro, to have to, you know what I'm saying, to walk to the bus stops, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
some of my clothes are a little bit more flashy. I didn't know about the colors and
Right.
this and that. And about still trying to be myself, wearing what's comfortable, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And
Yeah.
it was a culture shock at first, but it was amazing to see the beauty in it as well that you
Yeah.
don't get to see. And like where so while I was there, right, I then become a sober house manager, so I get a little
Wow.
discount on the rent and
Right.
whatnot. And you know what I'm saying? Now I'm managing people that are coming from the streets and coming from like they're not going to no short term. They're not
Yeah.
they're literally just now they get into a treatment, and then they're living with us. So
Right.
they're not in the most humblest way ever. Their plans wasn't soberness. There's plans that I'm not following God. I'm not this and that, right?
Right.
And me trying to thrive in that, I was actually able to use the tools that I gained here to keep me grounded and keep me, you know what I'm saying, in the
Yeah.
mornings. Like I was having my own little Stevens Chapel. Like it'd be like 6 o'clock in the morning. Is he playing gospel? Is he
Yeah.
listening to motivational stuff? And even the guys was like, "Who is this dude? We
Wow.
don't, oh, you're from Burnsville. What are you doing here?" That's what everybody always gets. Benji,
Yeah.
what are you doing here? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm here for a reason. They're like, well, what's the reason? I gotta ask him. He said,
Wow.
come here. Um, and so I'm going through all that, right? And whatchamacallit, I'm laying in bed one night, right?
Yep.
And like where I'm like, so I'm like a giver, you know what I'm saying? I like to give gifts. I like to give like encouragement. I like to, a lot of the things that like where I would say that like that treat people how you want to be treated
Right.
and things like that. Like, I give that out to, what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know. It's just like a natural thing for me.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm laying in bed and I'm like, okay, what could because like the way the sober housing industry is, and what I'm saying, the way that the living was, I'm grateful that I had the opportunity to, but there are just things that I would do different in if I had one, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So I was kind of dealing with that because whew, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I'm not gonna talk negative on nobody, but you know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
going through the motions, And so like as I'm laying in bed, it was like Saved by Grace, you
Oh, I
know?
see.
And then I
Yeah.
was like, and I'm like, Saved by Grace. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is. It's just like a message. It's just
Okay.
downloaded to me.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, Saved by Grace Living. That's what this is. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like,
Wow.
I'm living because I was saved by his grace,
Yeah.
by his mercy, that I'm even sitting right here with you breathing, bro. You feel me? Like, I've
Yeah.
had so many NDEs, bro, where it's like where I would even like my body would twitch at night, bro, because it's not used to the peace and the calmness. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like where it used to be the shakes from drinking, bro, now it's like overcoming the traumas, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So I'm like, man, that's God's grace.
Yeah.
And so that's how I came up with Saved by Grace
Oh,
Living.
wow.
And and like we're actually so I'm actually I have a GoFundMe as well. Make sure y'all check it out, description below.
Yeah.
And I'm raising $20,000 to give back to the people
Wow.
this winter. Like, so I want
Wow.
to get like some clothes and like basically like a little care package basically
Yeah.
for those who are out there homeless, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And to go out there and go on the streets like, hey, hey, come, you know what I'm saying? It might just be some gloves, some hats, a little baggy hand sanitizers,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Just like things that will help a person get through just that day. You know what I'm saying? Because like you know, I know I've been outside homeless when my hands are cold. I've been out
Yeah.
there when
Yep.
I didn't have good socks, when I didn't have, you know what I'm saying? I eventually want to get into coats and turkey drives and you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And like just to like how where you ever heard of the 3,000 hearts? um was it
3000 acts.
yeah, X3, that's what it was,
3000
3,000
acts
acts of
of
kindness.
kindness. Yep.
Yes, like I was so I wasn't around to be able to go and volunteer,
Oh,
but I
okay.
like to do things like that, like the loaves and fish, just
Yeah.
to be like, hey yo, you hurting? Come on, we got something for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like to be that example of
Oh,
what,
bro, that's
you know what I'm
amazing.
saying, like love is,
Yeah.
So that's where the whole Saved by Grace living, bro,
Oh,
is just
bro, you know
behind.
what? Yeah, that's incredible. You know what? Speaking of, um, you already told them where they could get it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of 3000 uh, acts of kindness, bro, that blew me away when I volunteered for that.
Yeah, you
Through,
did?
yeah, I
Oh,
did. But
blessings.
we did, I did, and you know what? You don't realize how many people are out there until you get all these goods in one spot and people come in,
Yeah.
because when it's spread out and certain people are giving out certain, but when it's in one major area, like
Right.
the convention center here in Minneapolis, you see people come from all walks,
Right.
and they're
Yeah.
all like just um coming together, and you're like, wow, you don't realize that, you know it's just not the people that you see on the street. It's people that are haven't they have homes, but they just need a little extra,
Yeah. Yep.
and so that's what I've learned from it. And it was just to be a part of that was amazing, just to see the people that come in and realize that, wow, how big of an issue this is, not just for, you know, the so-called person that you picture, but just families and stuff, that
Yeah.
need that extra little push to get through the winter and stuff like that.
Yep.
And so that's what I realized. And so many times people think of, like, even people that are in addiction, they have this picture of people, but no, it's not really like that. There's people that are, um they don't they don't portray the um addict look, but there's, yeah, and they're,
Yeah.
you know what, those are the people that are harder to reach because they could put on this, like, I'm not an addict, but yet they're hurting inside. And so, well, that just opened my eyes to, like, wow, you know what, there's so many people that are suffering. And that made me realize that, how are we going to do this, bro? We need more
Yeah.
people.
We
the,
definitely
the
do.
people we have at TCLI is
Mm.
definitely not enough.
Yeah.
And you walk in here and you see people, you're like, okay, we got a good group here. But
Mm.
when you go and you actually see the need for that,
Oh
you're like,
yeah.
wow, we're like, it's an uneven fight, bro. You're like, and
Yeah.
now every time I see somebody that walk out of here, I'm just thinking, like, gosh is shaking his head, be like, wow.
Mm.
And so, that's part of the reason why I'm passionate about this, is to grab as many people, because the help and the need is tremendous, bro. And
Exactly.
so what you're doing with that safe, it's tremendous, and the story that behind it, it's amazing too. And so the thing
Thank you.
with that is that the way you're telling me that story is just how I started with this too. I was just sitting there and I was like, should I at TC up in Duluth? And I saw that thing going back and like
The
the
treadmill.
yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
like sitting there not thinking even about marathons, running or nothing, right?
Yeah.
I was just basically on the verge of throwing myself a pity party.
Hmm.
And I was just sitting there and I saw that machine. I was like, maybe I could get back on there, And so, and all of a sudden, it's just like you laying in the bed. And then when I started running, and then that thought just came into my head, like, what if you could use this? And this was already in long term. And
Yeah.
having myself that pity party was at the beginning, And so, all through all that, so I felt that when you said that, I'm like just sitting there and like this thought came, like, what if you could do that and help people?
Yeah.
And it came right into my mind, bro. So you
Yeah.
could call that whatever you want, maybe, but I know that that was for me. And so I took that and I was just like, maybe it's not for real, but it just kept growing. And so, and I think that that's how you came up with all your stuff. And that's how I am here passionately, because it didn't go away. So
Exactly.
I know exactly what you're talking about, because I thought it would go away, but it didn't. And now there's nothing else but to do it, And so, I'm so glad that, you're a man of many hats and you could express it through so many ways, and you're willing to help and everybody, even the people that are already on this side. For instance, you're helping me out and you're like, you know what, I want to give you an avenue for you to express what God has done for you. And so, um you are not just talented in this world but also in the godly world, because you have given me the avenue and other people that already been saved, to come on and reach the people that are still on the other side. You're not just going out there and helping those guys, but you're on this side helping this side too. So it's like double work for you. And so,
Yeah.
bro, the thing is that with that is that, like, you have to, like, it takes a little bit more talent to do that, and I think you've got it. And
Thank you,
so,
man.
yeah, and so just going back to what you told about that, I see the same the similarities in what God has called us to do is
You know?
by, and you know what, that even, furthers my faith, because I know that what I've gone through, it's not something that I, just thought or feel. It's something that you, a man of God, has gone through too. And so that is, some sort of way that reassures that, I'm going in the right path. And
You are,
so,
bro.
yeah, so bro, what you're doing
Yeah.
is tremendous for not only the people that haven't been saved, but people that's already been saved as well. And so that's a great message out there to have that. And I
Thank you,
think that
man.
a lot of people, they take that for granted. They're like, oh, okay, Benji, he's good, he's ready to go. But yeah, you're doing a lot of stuff underneath, behind the scenes, to help other people too. And so that takes a lot of courage, to be honest with you, a lot of
Yeah.
stepping out into the real world and doing it, because not a lot of people are willing to do that. They just fade back into what their normal life is.
Yeah. Thank you, man. That
Yeah,
means a
so
lot. Like,
yeah, so that's why I wanted you to push, that, and I saw
yeah.
that while you were getting your thing. Anyways, let's get to your
Yeah.
thing, bro.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I like the I
Thank
like the
you,
color though, bro. You
man.
know what it reminds me of though?
Yeah.
You know Lance Armstrong, right? The
Yeah.
his
Oh, live strong.
Yeah, okay, that
Yeah.
kind of reminds me of the
Hey,
Livestrong
there we
stuff.
go.
Yeah, so
Hey.
because the colors and the lettering and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
so it
thank
kind
you,
of
man.
reminded me of that. So
I
when you went over
appreciate
there
that.
and I'm like, man, he should really let people know what he's all
Yeah.
about. And
Okay. All
so that's why
right.
I asked you.
I appreciate that,
So
man. I definitely, this is the first one. Like
yeah,
how we're so like something that like we're in this entrepreneurial entrepreneurial field, right?
yeah,
Of like how where I had the idea, right? And like then like where so I'm registered with the state too. Like, got all my paperworks and what I'm saying, and went on and actually made it a nonprofit, like where it's
wow,
legit.
really?
Yeah, because like I feel like some people like where so all right, so me, right? I used to sell cable, right, for Dish Network, right?
Yeah,
Like I'd be, hi, thank you for calling Dish. My name is Ricky. How may I help you?
yeah,
Oh, excellent. You don't like Direct TV? So it's like where, I know how to sell stuff. I know how to sell like cars and magazines and pitch stuff, right?
yeah,
But I didn't want to stand behind something where I'm just selling somebody
yeah,
something.
yeah,
It was like one, it had to have meaning. Two, I know they're going to try to check my credentials. Oh, he's asking for money, but he's, you know what I'm saying? It's like, because for me, right, I found out that legally, right, any nonprofit can just use 10% of whatever they've received,
Yeah.
and it's legit. Legally wise, I always go by tax because you don't play with the IRS. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? We, like it gets like, tricky in, areas like that. And me kind of being a little more knowledgeable, not that I'm the best. I need some help too, y'all. If y'all, anybody watching, y'all know how to do this stuff, please reach out to me, email below. And so like where, I didn't know what I said, you're going to make a nonprofit. And so my human side starts kicking in, right? It's like, what if they judge you saying, oh, he's fake, he's not a real
Yeah.
nonprofit? I said, okay, I know how to combat that. Boom, go make it a real, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nonprofit. And then like how we're so then like with me, it's like, so you never play with the church's money. You know what I'm saying? I don't know
Yeah.
if you've
Yeah.
heard that saying
Yeah.
before.
I
Like
have.
if somebody messing up the church's money,
Right.
you in deep water. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So like with me, it's the church's money, but it's God.
Right.
God
Right.
is the
Right.
church.
Right.
We're the church, right? So when I'm doing this, when I'm asking for these funds, I don't care what people think.
Right.
I know that if I do something wrong, God,
Right.
his,
Amen.
you know what I'm saying? How he's gonna look at me like, yo, I just blessed you with this, and you gonna go out and buy a new Bugatti?
Right.
Really? You
Yeah.
needed that Range Rover, like, you know what I'm saying? Like even how we're so with like tax breaks, right?
Yeah.
If you're a nonprofit, you can write off a vehicle that you use.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The highest one you can go to is either Range Rover, most common, or the G Wagon. These are legal things that you can do within having an entity, right?
Yeah.
And I'm still battling, bro, to where can I drive that Range Rover? Because like, bro, I'm on the bus, I'm lifting, bro. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I'm out here, like they could check the shoes. You know what I'm saying? We
Yes.
really out here,
Yeah.
and I don't know if that's like, you know what I'm saying? I struggle with that
Right.
as far as like, cause like for me, right? I'm not gonna lie, like we're okay. I like shiny things, so like with
Right.
me, if I get it, I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna be
Yeah.
excited because of like nobody knows what you had to go through to be able to accomplish these
Yeah.
things. But for me, some people that look like he's a nonprofit, pull it up in a Range Rover, not knowing that it was
Right. Right.
free.
That's a great point,
So
bro.
it's like like your what is your reputation is
Yeah.
more valuable
Yeah.
than silver and gold. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And like how my reputation is horrible. You know what I'm saying? As far as if you've seen me in my addiction, if you've seen me in my use, and you judge me by my hurt,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I was a bum, bro. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like where even though like I didn't like. I don't care about what people think about me. It's still that, his word says, hey, yo, your reputation. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You're not just representing you. You know what I'm saying? In your addiction, sure. But you know what I'm saying? I came in that addiction with you, pulled
Right.
you out of that, made this for you. So
Right.
everything, every dollar, everything's like that, right? You know what I'm saying? Because like how that's funding the mission to go give
Right.
back.
Amen.
So you know what I'm saying? It's like when they buy our merch, I want it to be something where
Right.
they know that we're not playing. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
And I think that they'll be able to see that through what we do. And I also do got this for you
Yeah,
too.
bro.
So
Let me touch on that real quick before
yeah.
you entertain us and bless us with your multiple hats of talents and the layer of onion being peeled even more. While you bring so many interesting points in just that whole what you were talking about, and bro, that I want people to understand that whatever we're funded for, that stuff is not being touched by, I'm not using that to go get something for my personal use,
right, yeah.
because like my man right here says, that's not mine to mess with. That's
Mhm.
God's money, and if you want to be a person of integrity and God and walk this, number one, God is the ultimate judge. Number two, you know that's the reason why we're here. That's the reason why I am sitting here with Benji, because I know he's a man of integrity, and we take that as people, as men, as godly men here. And so, or otherwise, it wouldn't be, it defeats the whole purpose. If we're just,
Exactly.
we might as well just not even do this. But the thing is that those are God's funds, and we got to use it specifically
Mhm.
for the purpose that He has given us. So for me, all the stuff that I have received through my sponsors and the people that see the vision and support the vision that I'm going after to help others, those I don't touch, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can't.
it's all in my, you know, and
Mhm.
I think that I just want people to understand that, because yes, as much as it's a struggle, like you said, we know that, there's a fine line in that.
Mhm.
And I understand your struggle, because you're walking, you're taking the bus, and you're like, man, there's a car sitting right there. I could just be rolling up in that. But yeah, you're still putting on your shoes and hitting the bus. And I do that too, because I know that number one, there's a bigger purpose. Number two, I can't be messing with God's funds.
Mhm.
And so, number one, that's the thing that you people got to understand, is that we're not sitting up here just trying to,
Get
hey,
money from people.
right,
Like
and
that's
just
not what
saying.
it's about.
And so, another thing, and we're gonna okay. So this is a question that I really want to ask you. And this is gonna go a little more personal and deeper.
Of
How do
course.
you feel? Okay, you can
Yeah.
edit this out
Oh
if you
no,
want.
no. Hey, we keep
Okay,
everything
how do
in
you
here. Let's
feel
get it.
about a pastor if you roll up to church and he's in a three-piece suit?
Whew, 3-piece
Yeah,
suit.
now this, yeah, how do
Yeah,
you
okay.
feel about this, bro?
I feel like I feel like, okay, so I wear a lot of suits, right?
Right, right.
I wear a lot of, what I'm saying? I feel like it's fashion. I feel like it's
Yeah,
good. If he's in a 3-piece dapper down
yeah.
suit, I feel like that's what's up.
Well,
I like it.
do you think that, okay, I understand that. Okay, but do you think that it's appropriate, or is that, um, or is he
Like,
sending out the wrong
right, from
message?
being too flashy
Yeah,
and
I
stuff
mean, I
like that.
understand. Maybe that's your personality, but are you just going out and beyond to express your personality? Because
Right.
some people, you got to take this into consideration, are coming off the streets
Yeah.
and they're like, man, I just want like maybe something to drink.
Yeah.
And so when they see that, they're like, what? No, I'm gonna get away from this church because this
Yep.
dude is like, and I'm like, I don't,
The prosperity preachers. I know
right. And
exactly what you're
so
talking
I
about.
want to know what Benji's thoughts on that, like a three-piece
Yeah.
suit
My thought.
pastor that comes and, you know, is that what I'm trying to say, is that it might be his personality, but is that how is that something that he should be considering towards the church too, towards the
With that, I'm gonna
yeah.
answer it like this.
Okay, yeah, I want to
I'm
hear
I'm
this.
gonna say clear out and flat. Yes. And my reason for that is because where show off what God is doing in your life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Show off the success, but do it. And it takes a lot. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You got to be very, it's a thin line to tread, you know what I'm saying? To tread that line, you know what
Okay.
I'm saying? So not everybody could do it. Majority of them not doing it right. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? They come off as prosperity preachers. Look at my new this, my new
Yeah.
that. You know what I'm saying? Now that, you know what I'm saying? They kind of, their fruits are typically showing that where
Right.
it's about the money. But for the right pastor or doing it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I say wear that because like where, for example, I like what is it? It's the express store at the mall,
Yeah.
Men's Warehouse. Hey yo, it's your boy Benji. Thank you so much for tuning in again with another great episode with me, Free Lee. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Please go at Lee, me Free Lee, on basically like all his platforms. Links are in the description below. We have more episodes coming for you. Thank you so much. It's been a blessing, even in the whole process of creating all this. Like, this is just